Greetings, students. In this video, we are going to take a look at how you can earn some extra points back onto your multiple choice question exams and your FRQs for your AP Psychology course. So again, this will be a way to earn back points on your multiple choice exams and your FRQs up to 100 points. You will not be able to earn a score over 100 with these learning opportunities, but they will help you earn some points back. So let's take a look. The first step is making sure that you have signed up for AP Classroom. AP Classroom is created by the College Board and is what we're going to use for our ELOs this semester. I sent out an email and I also posted a news announcement with information on how to sign up for AP Classroom. So if you've not already done that, this is the very first step. You need to do that as soon as possible. It's also important because signing up for AP Classroom is needed in order to sign up for the AP exam. The second thing I just want to go over are some review resources for preparing for the test. So first you have what's called the AP Daily Videos. Now we're a little ahead of these. The College Board is adding these as they are completed, but they are a great resource. Excuse me. And then the second thing that you should do, this is my recommendation, is go through before you take your exams and complete the progress checks, for the corresponding module that you're working on. For example, if you're working on neuroscience, before you take the neuroscience test, go ahead and just do the progress check. There's an MCQ and an FRQ practice assessment that you can do. And I've unlocked these for all modules, so the whole class is open as far as the progress checks. Please note, the FRQs will be practiced, but I will not be grading these in AP Classroom. Also, just make sure that you remember that previous module questions will appear on your multiple choice question exams. So be diligent about reviewing past modules. And so to do that, I would utilize a resource like Quizlet, or you could go back through the questions in your progress checks or something to that effect before taking exams. The majority of your unit exams will be the material from the module, but as the AP exam is cumulative, your module exams will have a few questions. Each one will have a few questions from previous units or modules. Okay, so what does that look like inside AP Classroom? And I'm also going to screen share in a few minutes, so I took some screenshots. When you go to the first unit, Scientific Foundations, which corresponds to our historical research module, you'll see that they have uploaded the daily videos, which many of us have passed that module at this point, but I'm just showing you where that'll be. Now, they have not uploaded Unit 2 yet, but they are in the process of working on those. However, these videos would be useful if you are still struggling with a concept or reviewing leading up to both the AP exam and the final exam at the end of the semester. So what does everybody want to know about? How can I earn points back on my MCQ and FRQ assessments in my Canvas course? Here are your steps. The first thing, the ELO opportunities have been created through quizzes. And so each quiz that you can take as an ELO opportunity has 25 questions. They are timed. Timing is similar to the timing in your Canvas modules. Note on your AP exam, you're going to have about half the time as you do to put in the class and as you will for these ELOs to complete your multiple choice. So on the real AP exam, you will have approximately 42 seconds per question to move through the 100 multiple choice questions. For modules that have both a multiple choice and an FRQ test, you're going to have two options to earn points, and we'll look at that in a sec. The points that you earn, you can choose where you want them applied. There'll be two options. You can, it doesn't matter which one goes to which. You can either choose to have it applied to your MCQ or your FRQ exam. Again, remember, scores over 100% will not be granted. So if you have a 95 on a test and you earn 6 points back through the ELO opportunities, only 5 of those will go towards that test because, again, averages over 100% on these tests will not be granted. There's no resets or redos in AP Classroom, so make sure that you are paying attention to what you're opening, that you're ready to open it, when you open it, things of that nature. This is your second chance to earn points. And so these extra learning opportunities are not going to be reset. And these may take longer than 3 days to have the points applied to your exam once you've submitted to Canvas. And extra learning opportunities are optional for teachers to offer, and they will be graded after I grade the normal scheduled grading. I have to stay on top of the normal scheduled grading in your course before I can work on something else. So I'm going to try to keep up with them as closely to 3 days as possible, but they may take a little longer, and I just want you to be aware of that. And then the last thing to note is when a unit exam only has one multiple choice question exam, you'll only have one ELO option. And the first example of that is coming up with nature and nurture. There's not an FRQ for nature and nurture, so I'm only going to have one option in AP Classroom. So what does that look like? The first thing you're going to do, number one, is log into AP Classroom. And once you get in there, you're going to see a page that looks like this. Over to the right in the top, you're going to see assessments. And you're going to want to click on assessments to find these extra learning opportunities. Once you do that, it's going to bring up a page that says assessments or assignments, and you're going to see a list. And so let's say I would like to try to improve my grade on the neuroscience multiple choice exam. So I see I have a neuroscience ELO option 1 and a neuroscience ELO option 2. I can use one of these two quizzes to try to improve my score in the Canvas course. So you're looking for the ELO quiz that corresponds to the module for the exam you'd like points added, and then you're going to take the assessment. Remember, it's timed. In these assessments, there's no FRQs, it's only multiple choice based. Once I have taken the assessment, and it takes a couple of minutes, it's going to bring up my results, and that's going to be directly to the right of where I took the assessment, under assignments. And for this example, I have a test student, her name's Sally Test. She took the Psychological History and Research ELO option 1. And so she's going to take a screenshot just like this, and she's going to submit this into Canvas for additional points on her Psychological History and Research methods. She can choose either MCQ or FRQ test. In the screenshot that you're submitting, this is the physical thing you'll be submitting, you need to include 3 things. You need to include your name, so I need to be able to see that. You need to include the title of the assessment, and then you also need to include your performance score. So 1, 2, 3, name, title of the assessment, and your performance score. Now say you say you made a 100 on the FRQ for that unit, and you made a 90 or an 85 or an 80 on the multiple choice, and you'd like to improve your multiple choice. So you don't need to improve the FRQ. You can take the Psychological and History Research Methods option 1 and option 2, and you could submit the higher score to Canvas for more points back on your test. And I'll show you the point breakdown in a minute. So if I were to do that, if I took the 2 assessments and, or if I'm just going to take a screenshot and there's a list of test names, and to get 1, 2, and 3 in there, I might have to have a list. I'll have my name, and I want to use the second assessment because my score was higher than on the first one up here. I'm going to highlight the assessment that you want me to use in Canvas. So I have the name is highlighted because there's 2 Psychological and History Research methods, and I want this one applied to my multiple choice test because I have a higher score here. So make sure you highlight that, and that way I'll know. Once you've gotten your screenshot, either a screenshot like this or a screenshot like this where you have the information highlighted, you're going to go to your Canvas course, and you're going to go to the modules section. And once you get to the modules, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see a new module called ELOs. And I'm opening these a little bit at a time. They're not all open yet, so don't be alarmed if you don't see all of them. But you're going to go and find the test that you want the additional points added to, and you're going to submit your screenshot. And back to Sally Test example that we had over here, we said she didn't want to improve her FRQ because she made a 100, but she does want to improve her MCQ test. So she's going to go to these ELOs, FRQ, excuse me, she doesn't need to bother with, but she wants to improve her multiple choice question test score, so she'll click on this drop box and submit her screenshot here. You're submitting the screenshot to the drop box of the exam that you would like extra learning points added to, okay? She won't submit anything to the FRQ because she doesn't need to. So what does that look like? What's the point breakdown for my ELO score? Possible points added to the module assessments. So each one of your AP Classroom extra learning tests have 25 questions. And so here's the percentage score if you made, between a 24 and a 13. And here's the number of points that will be added to your unit test, not to go over 100, if you make one of these scores. So let's look back at Sally's test and see what she's going to get added to her test. She made a 19 out of 25 on her option 1 assessment that she highlighted she wants me to use. She has placed it in the MCQ drop box for history and research. And so 19 out of 25 gave her a 76% that she scored on that AP Classroom quiz, which will give her 7 points back to the test. So for example, if Sally test made an 80, by doing this extra learning opportunity, she's increased her score to an 87. If she had used option 2, if she'd only used option 2, that was a 15 out of 25. If we look, that's a 60. She would have gotten 6 points. But because she highlighted the second option, she was able to get 7 points. So just again, I'm not going to read this breakdown to you. You can look at it, and I'll have it posted in the course. You can get up to 10 points if you miss one or score perfectly on these AP Classroom assessments. And all the way down to a 50%, you can get 5 points. Anything less than 50%, you're just going to have 2 points added. So, you went in there and you did the extra work, but if you're scoring less than 50% on the AP Classroom quizzes, then 2 points will be added. So if Sally did this, say she got 12 out of the 25 questions correct, and she had an 80, her score would increase to an 82. Okay, so when is everything due? You can start working on these immediately. They will close in AP Classroom. They're all set to close on December the 4th at 11:45 p.m. So after December the 4th at 11:45 p.m., you're no longer going to be able to access those ELO quizzes. The ELO assignment drop boxes in Canvas are also going to close on December the 4th at 11:59 p.m. So almost 15 minutes later. So after December the 4th, you won't be able to do these ELO opportunities. This is the beginning of September. This gives you several months to get these in. I recommend doing them as you go along. You're going to have to retain this information. It'll just help you more as you move along. They must be submitted to the course. Please do not email these submissions because they will not be accepted. Also, please do not Canvas inbox them. You have the module that is specifically set up for your extra learning opportunity assignments, and you should place them there. You can turn them in at any time, but just a little reminder that they may be graded outside of the 3-day school window. And so now I'm going to go and I will show you what that looks like both in AP Classroom and in Canvas. So when you go into your AP Classroom account, we're going to use Sally Test. Is going to log in. Remember her for next time. And you can see when she logs in that she's got a bunch of different assignments that she can access. So here's her AP Classroom. We're going to click on that so we can get into AP Classroom. And we can see the different units. Here you have your daily videos and your MCQs and FRQ progress checks. These in the blue and the progress checks are what I recommend that you attempt before you take a module assessment, just for some extra practice. The MCQs will self-grade. The FRQs, that'll help you practice writing them. Again, I'm not going to go in and grade those. And as the College Board adds the daily videos, they're there. But to access the ELOs, like we saw in the screenshot, you're going to come up here to assessments and you're going to click. And since Sally Test already took the psychological history and research assessment, that one's gone. And so right now she has these assessments that she could take for extra points. When she takes the neuroscience test, she could take either one of these, and then just depending on what she puts in the Dropbox is what would be added. And again, you could do this for, say on neuroscience, you didn't like your score or you feel like you could improve on both the FRQ and the MCQ. Take option 1, take option 2, they're both multiple choice, and then screenshot and highlight the test that you want to add to FRQ and the test that you want to add to the MCQ. And the whole semester is not in here yet. I'm adding these a little bit at a time. I have to go in and create these tests, and they will be in there before you take your module test that corresponds to it. And then also you can see that all of your unit progress checks are open, so you can practice those. If we go back to our class, we just kind of go over where the ELO's Dropbox is. Again, like the screenshot, we're going to go to modules, and then we're going to just keep scrolling past all the content to the bottom of the list. Under AP Psych Review, you'll see your ELOs. And right now, the only ones open for this class, I'm going to open more later today, are History and Research, but you'll see all of them here. And this is the only place that you'll go to submit them. And one thing to note, when they are graded, I have to go to the gradebook and manually add the points. So this is our test student. You can see the test student's grades here. Let's see. You can see that the ELO drop boxes don't have a percentage, so that's why you don't see those here. So I will put the grade in the drop box, but then I'm going to have to come in and manually find your quiz. So for example, if Sally Test decides to do developmental, I have to go in and manually add that. So there might be a minute between, if I'm grading these during the day, between the time you see the grade in the Dropbox and when it gets applied into the gradebook. But as soon as I go through the Dropbox, I'll add them to the gradebook. But just so you know, that's a manual thing. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask.